Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Good Service Podcast. I'm your host, Joseph Dunham. For those of you joining us for the first time today, thank you so much. We are your source for good news, wholesome, inspiring stories around the good services that nonprofits and other service-based organizations are making happen across the world as they serve the people within their communities, making it a better place than what they found. For those of you that are a part of our community and our audience and that continue to support, like, share, subscribe, repost, refer, thank you. You all are what makes this possible, and we love to serve you. We are grateful to serve you. So thank you for this unconditional love and support through Instagram, all the things. Again, there is no us without you, and we are because of you. All right, I'm done with the Dr. Susan. I am super excited for today's conversation. Any other person that is on the other side of the screen, should you be watching on YouTube, or if you're just listening, wherever this finds you, be excited because who we're talking to today, I'm telling you, ladies, gentlemen, boys, and girls, she is a boss. One of one, a real one. So let's get into it. Today, I am thrilled to welcome Chelsia Mckie to the Good Service Podcast. Chelsia Mckie, my apologies, Chelsia. Chelsia is the visionary CEO and founder of Beyond the Court, Life Beyond the Game, a nonprofit organization dedicated to empowering athletes to thrive, not just in sports, but in every aspect of their lives. Her mission is to provide tools, mentorship, and opportunities that help athletes grow mentally, emotionally, professionally, and preparing them for success beyond the game. Beyond her impact and her work within Beyond the Court, Chelsia is a mother, a coach, and a sales expert within the educational technology space. Join us as we dive into Chelsia's journey, exploring how she turned her vision into a reality, the challenges she's overcome as a leader in the nonprofit world, and the values that guide her both professionally and personally. This conversation is bound to inspire and leave you with insights on how to create lasting impact in your own life and communities. But first, ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome and give a great round of applause to Chelsia Mckie. Welcome to the Good Service Podcast.
Yes. Thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
You are so welcome. I just wanted to pick you up through the screen and give you the biggest hug.
Love it.
I've been looking forward to this for a minute now.
Me too. We've
Looking
been
forward
talking
to it for a minute.
for a minute now.
We're here. How does it feel to be on the Good Service Podcast?
It feels amazing. Just to see, I've watched some of the episodes and just to be here now, live in a living color. I know I aged myself a little bit there, but it's a vibe. It's a vibe.
Listen, in living color, y'all, if you don't know, Google it. Great show. Great show. I mean, Jim Carrey. Oh, we could get into it. Maybe another time, but aging yourself. All right, young lady. Anyway. So, ladies and gentlemen, first-time listeners, those that continue to come back, you know how this goes. I love to share how we got introduced to the organization that we're speaking to and their leader. And this story starts with Chelsia reaching out to me via email, actually. So it was Tuesday, October 15th. I get an email from Miss Chelsia Mckie. No idea who this young lady is. Okay, cool. Going through my emails in the morning, doing my daily routine and things. And she was like, hey, we are Beyond the Court. We have an inaugural conference coming up, January 11th. We're anticipating 1,500 to 2,000 sixth graders to 12th graders. This is who we are, right? We serve them beyond their sports aspirations and their dreams of maybe going pro in whatever it is, right? Because we know only about 2% of athletes make it to that threshold, right? Right away, her organization resonates with me. You all know I'm a sports guy. I grew up playing football, basketball, running track, all the things. So I was sold. I'm like, yeah, would love to be there, but would love to learn more about the organization and what you all are doing, what that looks like. So uh, we hopped on the call, and one of the first questions I had for Chelsea was like, "Hey, how did you even find who I am and what we're doing, or what I do, what we do here at the Good Service Podcast?" She's, "Well, Instagram suggested on the Explore page to give you a follow, or at least to look into your content." And I'm like, silly me, because obviously we're all everywhere. So it's like, of course, that makes sense now, that people are starting to listen. And this is making, waves of ripples in the world of social media. And so I was like, wow, thank you for listening to Instagram and reaching out, because look at us now. We're here and we're making it happen. So, Chelsea, I have to tell you, and I want to tell you, thank you for, hitting the like button, hitting the follow button, sending the email, inviting us at the Good Service Podcast to join you at the conference. I can't wait to be immersed in that space and to just bring the energy and the excitement all conference long, and to help in any sort of way as well, because I'm all about service. That's how we got mixed up, and we got Beyond the Court and Chelsea on the show today. So crazy. But is it though, right?
It's really not. It's a God incident.
I like that. I like that. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk to you a little bit real quickly about who Beyond the Court is. So, as I share, Beyond the Court is a life-changing organization that prepares young athletes across the United States for life beyond their individual sport. Based out of Atlanta, Georgia, Beyond the Court was founded because they saw a need in the community to prepare athletes for their lives that may look a little different should they not go the professional route and enter the professional rank. At Beyond the Court, basketball is their first love. So we'll get to know a little bit more about that. But they support and encourage all student athletes across all sports. In addition to sponsoring, hosting, and providing sports tournaments across the nation, they have developed session-based conferences, such as the one coming up January 11th, that provide student athletes academic and athletic resources to prepare them for the future. According to the NCAA, for those of you that don't know, that's the collegiate rank from NAIA Division 3, 2, 1. Everyone's probably more familiar with Division 1. These are these students participating in college sports. Again, less than 2% of them become professional athletes. So in reality, most students depend on their academics to prepare them for life after college. Education is of utmost importance, especially in today's world with all of the things going on. This is where Beyond the Court steps in. Chelsea,
Yes.
let's get to the bottom of this. Where does everything start with Beyond the Court? Would love to take it back for our listeners today on how you arrived here at being the CEO and what was on your heart for starting such an awesome organization.
Yes. And so, where did it start? So, I actually moved back from Texas to Atlanta. And at that time, I was coaching right here in Atlanta. And during that time, I was talking to parents and talking to my team and asking questions about what are your grades and are you prepared and have you taken the SAT and have you gone through clearinghouse and all of these different questions. And the answers were just so vague. And parents didn't know about a lot of different things that were needed. And I just saw a lot of disconnect. I saw a lot of need for those questions to be answered. And so I started talking to coaches, and coaches' plates were just so heavy. They needed to focus on the game. And as a former principal myself, an educator and in the ed tech world, I understood the education side of the house. And so I started to think, okay, what do we need to do? We have this world where, we're so social media heavy and, student athletes need to stay focused. However, focused in on what? Yes, the game is important, but what's beyond the game? And so came up with the idea of, how do we prepare, for the game and letting them know that yes, the game is important, but how do we also make sure that they have a plan B? How do we make sure that even when they are going to college, that they are even prepared to understand that in order to get to a D1 school, that you have to make sure that you're eligible, that your grades are important, that social media is important, that you have to make sure that you are coachable, that making sure that you stay away from the distractions of life, and that all of these things that make you a whole person is essential to these student athletes. And so when we thought about that, we said, okay, let's tee up a student athlete conference that really really sets the foundation of success. And so that's where Beyond the Court, Life Beyond the Game was born. And we put it on the slow cooker April of 2023, and it has been slow cooking ever since. And it's going to be ready to be eaten January 11th for the first time.
All right, listen, I'm a cooker myself, so I'm all for a crock pot and a slow cooker, smoking meats, all the things, right? So love that your intention and the timing of things, you all were extra intentional about that, and then it's led you to where you're at today. Again, your organization, I love, and I just want to like lift up and do whatever we can at the good service, whatever I can in my power to help you all spread your message and go from coast to coast, right? Because that's a big part of your goals. So you have our unconditional support. What were you coaching? Right, you said you moved back from Texas. You were a coach. I've done some research and I've taken some notes from our conversations. But what
Yeah.
all were you doing outside of being a principal, being a mom? What all sports were you coaching when were you seeing some of these things?
So I know you can't see me because I'm sitting down, but I will give you some demographic. I'm 5'2", and I'm short. However, I'm a boy mom, and I coach boys basketball. And so I love the game. And so I was coaching boys basketball alongside my amazing co-coach as well, who has an amazing program right now. And we ran three amazing teams, an amazing program out in Rockdale County, and who is still coaching to this day. I stepped away from coaching to focus on this. However, I was coaching boys. I coached girls one time, but it's nothing like coaching my young men out there in the community.
I love it. The boy mom, my mother was a boy mom for some time until we got Disney Princess number 1 and then number 2. So and she could have coached us in football, she would have. She did sometimes at home. And so, mom, when you hear this, I love you. I know you're gonna watch. I know you're gonna listen. I love that you had the opportunity to coach your boys. Um, that's very special. I can only imagine what that was like for you. So I appreciate you sharing. Okay, Miss, I'm 5'2". Um, did you play basketball? I know you shared that you were a cheerleader in
Yes.
one of our conversations. But did you actually play basketball or did you just cheer basketball?
I attempted to play. I have to keep it real. I attempted to play. However, my coach in high school came to me and they said, Chelsea, you're not going to get any taller. They had that harsh reality check with me and said, your last buzzer is going to come pretty quickly. And so you need to focus on track and you need to focus on cheerleading. And so I focused on cheerleading. And so I was a basketball cheerleader. I was the one that understood all the plays. I was out there trying to still coach the team. I knew when to cheer, when not to cheer. I was definitely understanding the game while even cheering. I was the captain of the cheerleading squad
To no
and
surprise.
everything.
No surprise, no surprise.
And even went on to college to cheer as well. And so yes, I was still that athlete, but just on a different side of things. But never lost the love of the game of basketball throughout the years.
Yeah. No, I love that. It's yeah, you're not getting any taller. You know,
No, I wasn't
even
getting
though
any taller.
studies show that men grow until they're at least 23 now, 24, they don't stop growing, and then women suddenly stop growing at about 20, 21. It sounds like you stopped growing at 16.
Yeah, I mean,
You
probably
know?
even before then. I think I hit a growth spurt pretty early. I was 5'2", probably in fifth grade, and then just stopped. So
Yeah, it then would have been the perfect time. You're
I was
probably the
tall early,
center.
and then never grew again.
Well, hey, we know one thing, that heart of yours just kept growing and growing and growing. Right.
Exactly,
That
exactly.
insatiable appetite to serve and to problem solve and to lead, that just kept
Yes,
growing. So we
but I
can
wear a lot of heels, and I'm tall in my mind. Yeah,
psychological size.
psychological size.
5'8". I'm
Yeah,
5'9" on
I
my best days. But like, psychologically, I'm like 6'9". I'm looking
exactly,
LeBron in the eyes.
exactly.
It's funny, a lot of my friend groups, I'm the shortest across the board from high school, college, even my adult life. These guys are 6'1" to 6'6". And I'm just, when I look at pictures, I'm like, oh wow, like I'm not as tall as I feel.
Exactly, and everyone in my friend group knows me to be in heels. That's just me. No one really knows my real height because I'm either in sneakers and heels. That's what I am.
Hey,
I'm a sneakerhead.
we love it. We love it. We share that affinity as well. So talk to us, right? You hit on it a little bit. The
Yes.
last buzzer. When was your last buzzer collegiately, and how does that tie into the making of Beyond the Court?
Yes, and so, I was cheering in college. I was very, very involved. I went to Savannah State University. Shout out to everybody at Savannah State. And I was leaving an SGA meeting after leaving cheerleading practice. And I was very involved with the Student Government Association. And I was leaving an SGA meeting and fell down some stairs and messed up my knee. And I never went back to a cheerleading practice after that. And so that was it. That was it. And from there, never cheered again. Uh, and I tried to get back involved, but from there, that was the last buzzer. I when I talk to kids, when I talk to other individuals, I often say that the last buzzer is going to come. It doesn't matter if it's at the high school level, where there's millions, or at the collegiate level, where statistically there's about 125,000, or even in the pros, where there's only about 4,200 athletes. Either way, your last buzzer is going to come. Now, at each level, there's more responsibility. However, what are you going to do when that last buzzer comes? And what's next? That's what's important. What's your backup plan? What's your plan B? What's your plan C? What's your plan D? And that's what is important about Beyond the Court, life beyond the game.
Yeah. No, I appreciate you sharing that with everybody and myself as well. It's a thought that you don't want to think about, right? Especially when you're a kid and you're in it and you're like, you idolize, the greats, and you have your favorite players, your favorite teams. This will be me one day, and I'm going to do this for a living, um, and we're all about it. But like you said, it's good to have a plan B, plan C, plan D. That's why there's 26 letters in the alphabet. You can have as many plans as you want, right? There's a million
Exactly.
ways to get to where you want to go. So,
Mhm.
um, I your story resonates with me a lot because it makes me think about when my last buzzer was. Right? And one thing my mother instilled in my brothers and I was there's no sports if you don't have the grades. Like honor roll was the floor for us. So it's like if you're not on honor roll, you're not playing. You can be at practice in your pads while they're practicing, and you'll be doing your homework or in your labs, doing whatever. And so, education was first, sports were second, but thankfully I was in a position to to excel in both. But I remember when my last buzzer was, because I didn't think it was going to be that night when it was, and then it happened. And then when everything in college and that fell through, it was like another wave of reality hit me again. It's like, oh, I just have to be a student now. There's no more football. I'm getting a little teary eyed thinking about it. I cried myself to sleep that night. I'm like, I just play my last football game? Nah, I didn't. But, you know, God has greater plans for us, bigger plans for us. But luckily, He allowed us to use sports to mold and shape us into the people we are.
And then what are those lessons that that you could take from sports? The team camaraderie, the mental lessons, the things that make you who you are, just like you're saying. But who else are you outside of sports? Sports is part of the piece of pie that are a part of you, but what are the other pieces of the pie that make you who you are? And that's what we want to encourage too. It's a part of you, but what are the other pieces? And that is one of the things that at the conference we want to explore. What else are you into? What else intrigues you? And it doesn't mean that sports isn't important, because it is. It's very, very important. It's part of your fabric. However, when we look at even a comforter, it has several different colors. And so when we think about the different colors of that fabric, one of those colors might be sports, but what are the other colors? And so we want our student athletes to really hone into the other colors of their fabric and really hone into what that is, and really say, hey, as I go in my journey, throughout my student athlete journey, I'm not going to get rid of my other colors. And and when my last buzzer comes, that those other colors is what I'm going to lean on.
Yeah. No, I love that. We're going to pin that, but I want to ask you this question. It's very much in alignment with what you just spoke on.
Yes.
After your incident, and no longer being able to cheer again, did you go through an identity crisis?
Not really. For
Maybe
me, I
crisis is
didn't.
too big
I
of a
was
word,
involved with,
but
yeah.
a loss of
For
identity.
me, I did really think about it from a standpoint of that's the difference. Because really and truly for me, I had a vision of wanting to go and I don't think a lot of people notice, but I'll say it here. I really wanted to go be an NFL cheerleader. That was like my goal, was to be an NFL cheerleader. I was just telling my kids this the other day, that I still wanted to be an NFL cheerleader, but I said that I'm really too old to be right now, and I would be the oldest one out there. However, if anybody wants to give me a chance, I will go try out. However, I think that train has left the tracks. That was my goal, was to make it all the way. I put that goal aside and I just said it's over. And that reality check really set in to say, oh, wow, I can't do that anymore. And that reality was a harsh reality, that my knee was messed up and I wouldn't be able to, do some of the things that I used to do. However, I think for me, I was so involved with other things that I did have the foundation to say, lean on other things, embark on other things. But was it always in the back of my mind? Yes, it was. The what ifs were always in the back of my mind.
Yeah. The multiverses, the other worlds in which this didn't happen and you lived out that life, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I appreciate you sharing that, because that's, again, it comes back, me saying I wanted to pin that part of the conversation. It comes back to the piece of the pie you were talking about. And not to make this about me, but as I listen to you and hear more of your story, I'm like, man, because I definitely did go through, and I don't want to use crisis, but for as long as I can remember. It's like, oh, Joe D, Joe Dunn. Oh, he's captain of the football team. He's a track guy. He plays basketball, like all the things. And I think I thought about it more to myself, and I cared more than I think anybody else did, really, because it was my goal to play college football. Obviously, that was going to help me pay for school and all the other things. And God blessed me to, again, academically be able to put myself through school and earn 75% of my tuition for 4 years academically, right? So I was like, there's a will, there's a way, and God's going to be like, hey, I got you. And so I just remember being like, man, I have to be a normal person now. I have to be just a student. Who am I outside of this? But I also, too, was involved, student council from sixth grade on. So I see you there, my fellow, my fellow civil servant. But yeah, I know we're going to talk about this at the conference more, but for our listeners today, how are you actively coaching and helping instill this now in the demographic you work with from, 12-year-olds to 18-year-olds, right? I know you're going to be working with some colleges too, in their programs, but how are you sitting down with them and making sure, hey, they have some tangible things to work on and work through to identify really who they are outside of just being an athlete?
Yes, it's truly a mindset shift, to be quite transparent, because a lot of people aren't really talking about it. It's a mindset shift even for some coaches, because coaches are really focused on coaching, which they should be. However, I really feel like people are not talking about the statistics. They're not talking about what's happening outside of the numbers. And really sitting down and saying, are you prepared for the next level? Are you prepared even to get to the next level? What are your grades looking like? And are, even if you're struggling, let's get you a tutor. Let's really, have you taken the SAT if you're a junior, or have you taken the pre-SAT as a senior? I mean, as a, what is your eligibility looking like? And really honing into the academic side, even if you're trying to get D1. And I really say that sitting down and starting the conversations is what's key. And it's really being in those environments and being bold enough to just start the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And that is what I'm doing. I am a very open individual that will talk to anyone. The other night, I just stopped a group of kids and just said, "Hey, let's talk." And I think that having that personality to, just ask key questions is important. And, me and also my team, we're having those conversations. We're putting ourselves in the room. We're going and talking to student athlete organizations throughout the state and really honing in and saying, hey, the mentorship part of this is important. And and we're bridging those gaps to say your coaches might not be, the person to always lean on for this information. Yes, but they can be the liaison that brings you to the people that can give you that key information. They can be that gateway person, because while they're opening the doors for recruitment, we can open the doors for the key knowledge on the education side. We can open the doors for parent liaison to say, hey, let me link you with a tutor at UGA that can help you with the prep. We can link you with the people that can help you with the eligibility requirements. We can link you with the people that can get you on the pathways if you want to go into sports medicine or into information around other pathways that still get you into other sports arenas and things of that nature. And so I think that it's really about getting into the ears of students and saying, you might not know, but let's get you the knowledge that you need to set the foundation and then bridge that foundation and then build on that as we go along the way. And it starts young. That's why we're starting at sixth grade because, we can't wait until 11th and 12th grade to build this knowledge because by 11th and 12th grade, to be quite transparent, it's too late. Of course, we still want our 11th and 12th graders to come to
Yeah.
the conference because we're going to still have a lot of information for them. However, we really, really, truly need our middle school kids and our ninth and 10th graders there so that we can start proactively and not reactively in 11th and 12th grade.
Right. No, it's yeah, I think I've been thought this, right, that you're onto something great. But you just said it, right? It's the idea of getting there sooner than later.
Yes.
Thinking and just like playing back in my own experience, you know, I was steadfast. I'm like, hey, like my guys know, this is the route for me. I want to go play college football, this and that. We were always working out together. We're always going for runs. And again, this is at 13 years old. It's like, hey, we have a goal, right? Like I had blinders on. Some of my best friends, we had blinders on and we did it together. We grinded together and we didn't get some of the information until later, unfortunately. Because to your point, coaches want to coach. Some coaches are more connected than others, right? Or maybe feel that you can actually go to the next level. And even if it's not D1, let alone D2, D3, right? Because there's levels to it. And nonetheless, a bachelor's degree in free school, you can't, that's expensive to come by. So I just love the intention behind starting earlier, about access, making sure you're bringing the horse to the water. Drink should you want to or should you need to, but hey, the resources are here. We're here. I always say this: knowing is half the battle, right? And no one ever talks about the other half of the battle, which is the applied knowledge. Right? It's like you then become responsible once you know. It's your conscious decision on if you're going to do or not do. Then that's on you, right? So I just love the intention and the access that you're granting, not just the students, but their parents as well,
Exactly.
right? Because sometimes there are parents that didn't never played sports.
And even when we talk about just the different tiers, we often focus only on D1 schools, but every single level has different eligibility, different requirements. People don't realize that even D3 schools, they don't give out athletic scholarships. You have to go in academically. Do they have sports? Yes, but you have to have the academics. And so that knowledge base has to be shared and just being able to bridge those gaps and say, "Hey, let's make sure you're prepared." You can be an amazing student athlete, but make sure you're prepared academically is important.
Yeah. Amazing. Amazing. How do you, right, beyond the court, really focuses on empowering athletes
Mhm.
for the rest of their lives? But, and you shared it's mental,
Mhm.
right? But also, right, some folks are stuck in a certain way because of the environment they're in, right? They may be in an urban city school versus a suburb school, right? So the opportunities look a little different. How do you and the team approach that conversation, and getting in the weeds with them and their families based on socioeconomic status?
Yeah, it's an interesting dynamic. We understand that sports looks different in not just our socially disadvantaged populations, but even in our rural populations. Sometimes in you know those communities, our student athletes are taught that that's the only way out, and that's a harsh reality. And to be able to shift that narrative, we also have to realize that, yes, that's still a foundation, and we can't take that away. However, at the same time, being able to say that there's still life beyond the game, even in that scenario, there's still, there's still reasons for being able to say, yes, the foundation of sports is still there. But even when you get that contract, because I'm going to push you. Yes, sweetheart. There, keep going. I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
be at every game pushing you. But when you get that contract, I want to make sure that you're in the class of financial literacy because I see that you're number one in the States. But I want you to be in the class, in the NIL class, to say when you get that contract that you give back some to your community, but that we make sure that you know how to divide your money in the right way, that you're able to invest it in the right way. And we have those classes involved as well. We want to make sure that you're in the classes that you are being able to be on the right track of whenever your last buzzer happens, even if that's at the pro level, that you know what pathway you're able to get into, even if it's going back and making sure that you finish that degree and you're able to be that sports agent, so that when you do make it to be that pro player, because I know you're going to make it, that you're able to be that agent at the last time when you do make it. See, the thing is that I'm not going to discourage our young players that are in our inner city schools, and I'm not going to take that dream away. Because see, the thing is the fact that we have too many dreams that are being taken away already in our communities. I'm not
You're
going to take that.
preaching. You're preaching.
Not going to do that. The thing is the fact that we're not taking dreams away in beyond the courts. We're not. This isn't a replacement in all. We're not saying don't go play. What we're saying is that whenever the last buzzer happens, make sure that you know which way you're going to go. And so, which way you go is going to set you up for your future. That's why we're going to have NIL classes. That's why we're going to have beyond the court classes. That's why we're going to have vision board classes, so that you're able to put the vision on there that guess what? I'm going to make it to the pros, but after I make it to the pros, I'm going to be the best sports agent in the world. See, the thing is the fact that we're not replacing the dream. We're expanding it.
Listen, you got me fired up. Chelsia! So good. So real. Yeah, I could not agree more. There are, the saying, right? You can only go as far as your eyes can see, or vision, right? That's what we're getting at is. And just the other day, so I think the Eagles played Jacksonville, and Saquon had the crazy run and the jump and the hurdle. I watch Get Up and First Take. That's like my guilty pleasure. It's the only TV I actually watch outside of sports. And then I watch a lot of podcasters and things, and I learn right how to have an awesome platform to uplift individuals like yourselves. And it was on Get Up that I forget who said it, but they're like, yeah, I told my kids they will never have the ability to do what Saquon did. I remember thinking like, how would you do that? Like why would you ever tell a child they can't do something? That just these are our leaders of tomorrow. These are the most purest form of human. If they want to be an astronaut and they want to go to Jupiter, all right, how are we getting there?
We're going.
Like what spaceship are we taking? Are you going to build a spaceship or are you just going to be on it? Both.
Exactly.
Okay, awesome. Right. And I just so many people poured into me at such a young age, and because of the vision, and I was very like, hey, this is where I'm going. And they came to I don't want to say came to the rescue, right? But they wrapped their arms around myself and my mother, who before me, my stepfather was a single mom of 3 boys that played sports all year long. And so it's I just to my no matter how old I grow to be, I will never tell a child that they can't do something. And to know that that just happens every day, all the time, whether it's in the classroom, because unfortunately there are teachers that will tell kids that, or it's at home, or it's people within their own families. So for you to hey, we're going beyond the game, right? Like I love that you're like we're expanding the dream. We're like that just that did something for me. Right? That was like, ooh, Chelsea, yes, that's it. That's it. We gotta look at it a little differently. Go play, go do.
Go do. Go do.
But
Go do.
all right, I'm off my soapbox until you get me fired up again. What is it like, for you, right? You're obviously a woman and you have coached male teams, and now you have a whole organization. And unfortunately, female sports on the rise. I absolutely love to see it. I'm an ally. I'm an advocate. Yes, let's get some more expansion teams to the WNBA, for the women's National Soccer League. They need a softball league. Let's get it. Let's get our women what they deserve, right? And I'm just curious for you, what has the struggles been as a female CEO, as a female leader in a space such as the sports world and what you're doing? Because I feel as though I imagine you probably ran into some hurdles.
Yes, the hurdles are real. I walk into some spaces and not often am I respected as a CEO of a sports organization, especially as a woman. Oftentimes, my COO, shout out to Alex Percival. Oftentimes, he is looked at as the visionary and the CEO, and so oftentimes he's like, "No, she's the one who created this." And I'm perfectly fine. And it's like, okay, that's okay. He gets a lot more respect than I do at times. And it's interesting. It's interesting. But I endured the same thing, on the court as a coach. Both me and my counterpart, we were both women, and there were oftentimes that people thought that I was the girliest coach ever. And people oftentimes thought that I was the parent that just, the stands are over there, and I'm like, no, I'm the coach. And I'm a whole different person on the court. So it was like, my hair
I'd
was
pay good money
down.
to see that.
No, my hair was down. It was very interesting. It was like, okay, it was a very interesting dynamic when it came down to, really just being myself. However, I hope that the world of sports changes for women. We deserve respect out here. When I walk into the room, I know about sports. When I walk into the room, I should be respected as a CEO, changing the world of sports. This conference will be impactful for both student athletes of, the male gender and the female gender. And it will impact both. And should be equal across the board. And I am pulling for the WNBA. I am pulling for all of the women out here that are doing their thing in the sports world. And I hope that we're able to pull a seat up to the table and show that we do know what we're talking about. Yeah, just a little bit.
Just a little bit. I'd probably say more than a little bit. I'd say a lot of
Yeah,
bit.
we know. I know I was being facetious, but
But no, I would pay good money to see you coaching on the sidelines. I mean, you already speak with such tenacity and such confidence and conviction. You say you know the game, so I'd love to see you coach the game, right? And we full court pressing. We getting into some trapping once they get across. What offense are we running? I'd love to just to understand your philosophy and your methodology to the game, offensively and defensively, and to see you execute it. That'd be cool to see. All 5'2" of you out there. I don't know if you got a clipboard you're waving or you're clapping. It's like, hey, you gotta get back. You gotta get back on. So that's too good. But no, I appreciate you sharing with us all,
yes,
because
definitely.
again, sports has forever been dominated by men. Even men coaches for women's sports, right? So it's like, why can't there be the opposite?
Exactly.
For our women that are listening, wherever they're at in the world, that or just in leadership positions in general, what advice would you have for them when it comes to, they've built a table and now other people have to bring seats to the table? What advice would you have for them just to stay steadfast, stay head down, and to keep going?
I would say trust the process and don't stop. Oftentimes, we minimize ourselves, and and we have to stop doing that. Don't minimize yourself in rooms where your voice can be heard. And so when your voice can be heard, speak, regardless of what voice that is. Speak. You never know who's listening. You never know what change can happen, and you never know what seat at the table will be pulled up in that scenario. Trust the process. Keep pushing. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I would say.
Y'all heard her. Keep going. Trust the
Keep going.
process. She's not a Philly fan. She's not a Sixers fan. But trust the process. One foot in front of the other. Speak up. Right? Everyone has a voice. The right person is going to hear you at the right time and be like, that's what we need in this organization or for this team or for this company. Right? So I love that. Just real quick, I want to plug in some statistics just around female coaches, right? Because again, we're seeing more and more across all sports, across all leagues. So let me pull up my little stat sheet here. So 6%, and this dates back to, and this is the NCAA, across all sports. So 6% have gone up and from 2022 to 2024 in women's coaching, being the head coaches. In professional sports, it's now gone up 3% for men's. So again, you're starting to see more and more happening. In 2013 in the major leagues and the MLB, you actually had 43 coaches in the major leagues. The NHL, so Jessica Campbell became the first head coach. Hockey. I mean, that's been dominated by men forever.
Major.
So she's Seattle Kraken. So shout out Marshawn Lynch. He's an owner in that. I do know that. That's an expansion team, right? They just had them expanded.
Yep.
And then in the NBA, you have 5 female coaches across the board. Raptors, Mary and his Andrade. Here in the Hawks, Brittany Donaldson. You have Cindy Dobner for the Bucks, and you have Sonia Rahman for the Grizzlies. So again, you're starting to see more and more women that are, if they're not next to the coach, the head coach, and the assistant coach, they're right there. They're part of the team, right? They're the decision makers. They're the game planners. So ladies, y'all know I'm about to say, what Beyonce say, who run the world? Go ahead. Go ahead. It's just your world. I'm just here. We're supposed to protect and provide. So we're going to work in cahoots on that. But no, I appreciate you allowing me to share that moment and nerd out over some statistics and things in my research, because you are a trailblazer and you make up some of those statistics, Chelsia. So know that you're making a difference each and every day.
We're going to pass the torch too. We got something coming up the pipeline.
Okay. Well, we're getting into the second portion of the show. Those of you that have been with us since day one and can keep coming back, you know what I'm about to say. It's Mind, Body, and Soul time. For those of you joining us for the very first time, Mind, Body, and Soul is it's supposed to be a rapid fire, knee-jerk reaction, a fun way of getting to know the guests a little bit more. You guys should know this by now. I'm long-winded, and I'm not sorry about it. I'm going to get better. I am getting better. I'm doing better. But we're going to get to know Chelsia more. So I have some questions for her, as you all could have guessed, just around who she is, right? And what that all looks like. So you, Chelsia, are a Steelers fan.
Die hard.
You're having an awesome season with, at the beginning, everyone's like, how is this going to work with Justin Fields, Russell Wilson, all the things. But you're 8-3. Very fun, very exciting. The Snow Bowl. Awesome time. We'll leave it at that. I would love to play in snow. Oh my gosh. That would have been crazy. Who's your favorite Steeler of all time?
Palamu, sure.
That's
I mean,
probably like a
defense
top.
wins games.
What?
Yeah,
Really?
it does.
We'd have to disagree on that. I get it. I mean, I get it. Defense wins championships. Yeah, but like,
I mean, come on, he's one of the best, and he's like a team builder. I mean, he's loved by everyone.
no, yeah, I'm all for Troy Plop. When I played safety, he was one of the guys that I loved to like watch your YouTube highlights. Him,
Yes,
Brian Dawkins, my big bro David Bruton. Like, I just love because just the way they saw Ed Reed, the way they all saw the game.
yes.
Earl
And he's
Thomas.
just such a I mean, he's like that team camaraderie. He's consistent. He's a vibe. He was a vibe.
Yeah. I mean, and he did really start the trend of the hair outside of the helmet because, of
Exactly.
course, like, yeah,
Who
he was
doesn't
definitely
love
the
him?
glue. He was the captain and the glue to that
Mhm.
organization for a very long time.
For a very long time.
Now he's doing his Head and Shoulders commercials with Patrick Mahomes. Hey, life beyond the game, you
Hey,
know?
hey,
So maybe you get him at a conference and talking
maybe.
with the kids one day. Who knows?
Exactly.
Um, okay, how did you even become a Steelers fan? You're not from Pittsburgh.
My family is from Pittsburgh. My mom's side of the family is from Pittsburgh. So shout out to shout out to the Kenderson and Cole side of the family. Yeah, I was born into this.
Born into it. All right then. All right.
Now, I
Hey,
do go for the home team as long as they're not playing against the Steelers. And so I am a Falcons fan as long as they're not playing against the Steelers.
but the season opener this year, I'm sure you were there with your
I was
terrible
there
count.
and I was full gear from head to toe in Steelers gear.
Do you have a Troy Polamalu jersey?
No,
What? How you gonna?
I
What?
don't. I don't.
We'll work
But
on that. We gotta get you
I
one.
do have my personalized jersey.
Okay, what number is you? What number you be?
It's my kids. It's my kids. So I have a 4 for me and my kids in the back.
I love it.
With the key
Yes.
on the back, yes. I'm pretty serious. I have the socks, I have my towels, yeah, it's a pretty serious vibe.
Steeler fans are that. They're
Yeah,
serious.
we're serious. We're
So I
serious.
was actually at that game as well. One of my child best friends is a big Steelers fan. Shout out Asante Hill, and yes, you would have thought it was a home game for the Steelers. I'm like, what is going
Yes.
on? Opening
Yeah, we
day,
travel
opening
every year.
game, and I'm
Yes.
like, it is very yellow in here.
Mhm.
Very. The only thing red was the seats because people were standing up the whole time.
Exactly.
I love that. I love that. Okay, so you coached basketball. You loved basketball.
Yes.
NBA, NCAA. Who are your teams? Do you not have any?
No, I'm a diehard, I'm a diehard Hawks fan. I was at the games when I was a little girl. My dad was there with Dominique Wilkins and Spud Webb every single game. I have pictures with Harry the Hawk when I was a little girl, and every time I go to the game, I'll be at the game on Monday night. I'm taking the boys, and I'm a diehard Hawks fan. So I go for the home team. Go for the home
Yeah.
team.
Okay. See, that's refreshing. I've been here 4 years, and it blows my mind that every time I go to a Hawks game, there's just like almost nobody there. I'm like, how? Like, you have a really young team that's very good. Quinn Snyder, not a bad coach. He's figuring it out. The draft picks you all have made recently. I wish Devontae Murray that worked out because I love his game and I thought they had a good thing that could have went on. But I mean,
Yeah.
I love meeting like authentic Hawks fans. They're like, I'm about it. I've been going. I'm going to keep going. Like, so shout out to you for not being fair weather and just when they're up, being like,
Yeah. Up and down. We're still there.
very much so. I mean, awesome stadium though. State Farm
Yeah.
Arena is very, very
Yeah.
nice.
See,
Very,
I was
very
there
nice.
when it was the Omni. So I go way back.
Way back.
Way
Okay.
back.
Who's your favorite Hawks player of all time?
And you know, I would have to say, between Dominique and and rest in peace, Mutombo. No, no, no. Just those are the classics. Those are the
Yeah,
classics. Yeah,
they set. I mean, they set the organization up for decades to
exactly.
come, right? So they set the standard, and rest in peace to the
Mhm.
Tumbo. That's just wow, right? And his son actually plays at Georgia Tech.
Sure
Ryan,
does.
I found that out not long ago. I have a friend that coaches there, and so we had a conversation like, "How's the season? How's everything?" And I was like, "I did not know that." So, but of
Mhm.
course, Dominique Wilkins, you can't, everybody knows. So
Yeah,
at
it's
least if
Dominique.
you know anything about NBA and basketball and the East and what's going
Exactly.
on back in the day, the dunk contests and all the things, just the Hawks have. They had the one year they got to Eastern Conference Finals, what, 2020, 2021,
Yes.
around there. But the consistent top heavy conference that it is, you're always running into the Heat. You're always running into, and it's like, yeah, you're just not getting up through those teams. The Celtics, it's like back
Exactly.
then it was the same thing. The Celtics, it's like, the Pistons, it's like, yeah, you're not, you're good. But those guys, the coaching and all the things. So one
Exactly.
day, I want you to hoist up an NBA trophy one day, Chelsea. And
Hey, hey,
it'll happen.
maybe, maybe. I
Maybe.
mean, I got the NBA in my blood, so hopefully, hopefully one day. I mean, Aaron McKee is my cousin, so hopefully one day,
Okay.
maybe one day we'll be able to, bring it back around, and another McKee will be able to hold it up. If not, then
I
one of my
love it.
sons.
I love it. All right. You're a sneakerhead.
I am.
You talked about it a little bit ago. What is your
I
favorite
am.
shoe of all time or line of shoe of all time?
Oof. All time? Man, I buy a lot of shoes, but I like the ones. I think I have a lot of ones. I think I have the ones in like every single color. I just like the ones.
They're versatile. You can do a lot with the
They're
ones.
versatile. They're versatile. It's either the ones or, but this is my thing about sneakers. When I see too many people have my sneakers, then I have to go buy another pair. So so that's how I am. So when I'm out and about, if I see too many people have them, then that's my cue to go buy a new pair. Yeah, that's me.
Noted. Noted. So what's the top three right now? Current rotation when it comes to your sneakers. We obviously the one.
I really I haven't bought a whole lot lately. I've really been on a heel kick. I told you, sneakers and heels. So I've been in more places where I need heels lately. So I've been buying more heels lately than sneakers, but I'm coming back. I'm coming back.
Coming back. All right. All right. You'll
Yeah.
get it. You'll get it. I'm sure of
Yeah.
it. I'm sure of it. No, I love that. Yeah, I was one sneakerhead in high school, and my younger brother's trying to get me back into buying shoes again. I'm like, listen, man, yes, I will, but like, we're getting one pair a quarter. So I'm like, I'll pick
Yeah.
two, you pick two.
Exactly.
Like that's it. I mean, he's
See, I'm waiting
buying.
for my youngest to get back into my size because all my oldest two are way past my size now, but when my youngest gets in my size, I'll go sneaker crazy again, and then I'll just buy all of them because then I'll wear all of his. And he's really good on shoes, so
Yeah, gotta be. God, listen. If I came home with my school shoes scuffed up, absolutely not. So I've been taking care of my shoes. So I
yes,
shout out to your youngest. Tell us
exactly.
about the boys. Tell us about your boys.
Yes, and so, 3 boys. My oldest is a junior in high school, and he actually played ball since he was 7, and most recently, he decided to stop playing, and he is reffing and reffing, all over the state and actually coaching at his high school.
Oh, snap.
He is doing scout reports and all of the above, and he's actually coaching. a team as well. And so I am very proud of him. My middle child is actually playing football and wrestling and doing amazing things. He's an officer for FBLA and so many different
Go.
other things at school. And he is an amazing, amazing, amazing young man. He is a future business leader. I just know it. And then my youngest is a beast on the basketball court. I mean, I just want him to enjoy the game, but and want him to slow down a little bit because he is just so talented and a math whiz out of this world. And so those are my three boys. Like I said, I'm a boy mom, and I would be remiss. I have three from the womb and one from the heart. And so my daughter, that's actually my cousin that I help raise. She is doing her thing. She lives in Savannah, and I'm so proud of her too. And so, so yeah, those are from my four babies. Three boys, one from the womb, and one girl from the heart.
I love it. I love it. I love it. What is your favorite part about my face hurts from smiling. It's your fault. Um, what what's your favorite thing about being a boy mom?
And it's tough, but my favorite part is the fact that I'm able to raise three young Black men for society
Mm,
and have an
mm.
impactful um, way of doing it. Now, is it easy? No, it's not. I'm a single mom, and and I didn't design it that way. I have a testimony out of this world, and you go through this journey, and you wake up and you say, okay, these are the cards that God dealt me. And I'm going to live the life that I'm going to live, and I'm not going to regret anything. And so, with that being said, I'm going to do the very best that I can. And my boys, I tell them that they can do anything. They can strive to be the very best that they can. But guess what? I'm going to be tough on you because the world's not going to be easy on you. But I'm going to set you up for success. And I'm going to set you up with generational wealth. And I'm going to give you everything that I can give you so that you can make it to the next level. And I'm going to give you what I didn't have. But I'm going to give you opportunities, and I'm going to galvanize you around people that give you opportunities as well. And then I'm going to allow you to make mistakes, and I'm going to allow you to fall, and I'm going to allow you to get back up again. And I tell them all the time that I'm not perfect because a lot of times they don't see your faults. But
Yeah.
I let them know that I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect at all. I've made my mistakes and I got some more to make. But at the end of the day, one thing I can do is do my very best. Um,
Mhm.
I had a major accident back in 2017, and I lost my memory. And ever since then I have been striving to make sure that I live, and I live for them. And that is why Beyond the Court is so important. That's why being a mom is so important. And that's why striving for excellence is so important. So, doing this is not just about a mission, it's a calling.
You about to have me all crying and everything. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah. Life is what you
That
make
means
it.
that means so much to
Yeah.
me. Yeah, no, I just my again, just a lot of what you're saying, like, my mom said to my brothers and I, right? And like all the things and my mom, she loved being a boy mom. And then she got her Disney princesses and she was like, what is going on? Who like what? Your sisters are crazy. I'm like, you wanted girls, and God's like, you know, my stepfather had Lexi and another in the previous marriage before my parents got together, and then my youngest sister is my adopted cousin. Right? You couldn't tell me anything though. Those are my girls. Blood couldn't make us any closer. But oh yeah, they get into it, and it's hilarious. Because my brothers, they're all back home in Ohio, so my brothers are always like calling me, like, you know what's going on? I'm like, just stay out of it. It's not for us. It's not for us to understand.
Mm.
Like, mom's like, hey, you guys were easy. We just had to keep you in sports and keep you busy. And from breaking bones and breaking bikes, every summer was happening. But no, I love it. So thank you for
But
sharing.
raising boys in this day and age is not easy at
I
all.
couldn't
I mean,
imagine. I would not want to be a
2024
teenager.
and and the uphill battles of society, but you pray over them, you make sure that they're covered, and you set them up for success, and that's what's important.
Well, you're doing it, and you're doing a damn good job at it. From
Thank you.
from me to you, from the good service to you. I'd love to have you hang out with my mom. We might have to set that up, a little boy mom
Yes,
conversation, a little side course for the
yes,
good service. That'd be
yes,
too fun. Okay,
yes.
so finish this sentence. The world would be a better place if.
Where would be a better place if we would stop hating on each other?
Y'all heard her. Hating does nothing but divide and not conquer. So I haven't gotten that answer yet. So,
Yeah,
but very true. Very true.
yeah.
I couldn't agree more. What is your definition of good service?
My definition of good service is really just doing what you can when you can. It's really just, if you have it to give it. If you have it to do it. If you have the time, then provide the time. You know, it's really just, you know, standing in the gaps when you have the gaps to stand in. Being my dad always says this. There's givers and there's takers in life. Be a giver.
Mm,
Be a giver.
yeah,
That's what good service is.
I love that answer. We haven't gotten that one yet. Ooh, look at you getting your bars out, spitting your facts, dropping the mic, all the things, all the things.
Yeah.
Where does your heart to serve come from? Right. It's one thing to start a business, but it's another to say, I'm gonna start a nonprofit.
Yeah.
Uh, where does your heart to serve come from?
I don't know. I think it's just God. So many people tell me, Chels, a lot of people call me Chels. They say, you need to focus on you. And I say, huh, yeah, I know.
Hmm.
But
Heard that before.
I'm selfless. And there's so many times that I give my all to everybody else. And I know there's some times where I need to turn that inward and but it's just like I'll give my last to everybody else around me. I'll say, like, look, if there's something that needs to be done, I'll do it. If there's something that needs to happen, it's like, okay, I'm there. I'm the first one to say, I got it. And I've been like that for forever. And I just don't stop. And so when there's a need, it's like, okay, let's do it. When I see that there's a problem, let's fix it. And I don't stop until it's fixed. And so, I'm the one that has a pad and pencil or my notes open my phone, and I have all these ideas because when there's a problem, it's like, how do we get it fixed?
How we get it
And
done?
I bring people together, and it's just like, we gotta fix this. And it's just like I said, it's that servant mentality to say we have to come together. And so I just feel like it goes back to what my dad has always said. There's givers and there's takers, and I've always been a giver. And so it's just part of my heart. It's part of my service. It's part of my calling. And I just never questioned it. And so maybe one day I'll be selfish when I leave this earth. But until then, I don't think it's gonna happen.
Yeah, there's givers and takers. You're going to be a giver. Well,
Yeah.
from one giver to another, I see you. I see you. You ever read the book Go Giver?
I haven't. I'm gonna have to write that one down.
What? Yeah, shout out to my man Bob Berg.
Okay.
I'm gonna send him this clip because I want to get him on the show, And he's like, I don't know if I provide a service. I'm like, you're an author. You
Exactly.
have a whole line of books that I've read for professional, and also the implications are personal as well. So it's like,
Yeah.
you've helped, me shape my mind a lot of different ways when it comes to service
Hmm.
as a go-giver. It's a quick read, maybe like 150 pages.
Okay. Yeah, I'm
I
gonna
don't know,
find that one.
but we'll have to get your hands on that book for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Nonetheless, though, thank you for your giving heart. Thank you for all you're doing is so important. And I'm excited for. I mean, very young organization, right? Almost 2 years old, and the things that you've already accomplished that we spoke on, prior to hitting the record button, and the things that are going to be happening in just a matter of probably 60 something days,
Yes.
right? With what's going on for the conference, the first of very many, more cities, more lives to impact that you will. So I can't wait to see that, to be a part of that. Thank you for allowing myself and the Good Service Podcast to be a part of this journey with you. But again, just want to give you your flowers and just say thank you for your heart to serve, because it means so much. Uh, you know, because I know the kids may not see it right now. Some of the parents may not even be aware of it until they run, their lives cross beyond the court, right? Life beyond the game. So you're doing a lot of great things, not just here, but the narrative shift. But
Yes.
unfortunately, I know everybody. I'm the worst guy because this thing's coming to an end, and I could talk to Chelsea for another hour and a half. But this is before we go. It's as it sounds. It's the closing of the show. So I'm going to selfishly, Chelsia, this is your moment. Plug away. Where can the people find you? How can they donate? How can they volunteer? How can they support and just continue along the journey with you all as you grow city to city, coast to coast? Because again, there's a need for
Yes.
your services, and you're changing lives. You're changing minds, to think differently, to change their mind, to change their lives. So you're doing great things and providing a good service. So please, how can the people follow and support?
Yes, definitely. I just want to say thank you so much for having me on the show. It's been a pleasure to be a part of this journey with you. And I just love what you're doing. We just are so excited about the upcoming conference and the conferences to come. If you want to be involved in this impactful journey, please follow us at BTC Athletes on IG. Get your tickets right away. You want to be a part of this event. Like I said, we are making sure that all student athletes across all sports have a actual plan for life beyond the courts. We are not getting rid of their dream. We are expanding it. And so we hope to see you there. We are having so much involved. We have so many people that are excited and that are ready to make sure that the impact is going to be definitely one that you want to be a part of. And so, again, thank you so much, Joseph, for this opportunity. And we look forward to seeing you there as well. And if you want to get involved, and definitely follow me too, because this journey has just begun. And like I said, shout out to the BTC team, because I do not do this by myself. Nor do I even say that I do. I have an entire team behind me, and so shout out to Alex and the rest of our team, because they are impactful as well. And so thank you, thank you, thank you, and we hope to see you all soon.
Yes, 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 yes. Y'all heard the lady. The young lady said BTC Athletes on Instagram. Your website. You forgot the website.
Yes, website btcathletes.com.
Boom. Same as the Instagram. It's going to be in the write up, ladies and gentlemen. So pay attention to that. But yes, follow, like, subscribe, comment. What did you love about this episode? What did you love about Chelsia's story? Reach out to her directly. If you are in a major city, a rural city, a city where you're like, we have a plethora of athletes and young kids that want to do great things, but they need mentorship and guidance in a lot of ways that aren't happening, reach out to her, right? I say this all the time, right? We're not going to touch all four corners of the world without you. And Chelsea and her organization is going to need your all's love and support, and references and recommendations as well. So with that, Chelsea, you have one more thing to do. Closing remarks. What is on your heart right now? What would you like to share with the world, with our community, our audience, the family here at the Good Service Podcast? And then we'll wrap this thing all the way up.
Always remember from my favorite book, Atomic Habits, big things come from small beginnings. Never forget that and continue to trust the process.
Boom. Mic drop. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a wrap. I'm your host, Joseph Dunham. Jody, to some of you, to all of you, love you. Thank you again. Like, comment, subscribe, share, repost, all the things. We are very excited about where things are going and continue to go for the Good Service Podcast. We would not be here without you. We love showing up for you. So thank you for the love and support unconditionally. With that, we'll see you in about 2 weeks for another excellent conversation on the books. But until then, have a great rest of your day, wherever this finds you.